Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're covering the best, most efficient way to make gold. Plain and simple, so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. And the first step if you're trying to maximize gold is running some sort of emissary. And for the sake of the video, it has to be one of four. Either Merchant Alliance, however I wouldn't recommend this one, Order of Souls, which is a great choice, Gold Hoarders, which is another great choice, or lastly, Reapers. However, if you're alone or a newer player, I just really wouldn't recommend this one for what I'm going to show you. However, it will net you the most money if you do run Reapers, so the choice is yours. However, for the sake of our video, I am going to be running Order of Souls. And for the video today, we're going to be sailing between Lookout Point and Barnacle Cay in order to get the orbs that spawn at both of these. But there's some other steps along the way I do want to include, so let's go ahead and get over to Lookout Point in order to start. And I will see you guys when we get there. Okay, and as we pull up here, I recommend going around to the back side of the island, and this is just going to shield your boat as much as possible. Now, although skeleton encampments are a part of this method, it is not the entirety of what I'm going to be telling you guys to do, and we actually got lucky enough off the right hand side of our ship here to have the other part of what you should be looking for while doing this, and that is shipwrecks. And this is the reason I told you to pick one of those three factions instead of, say, Hunter's Call or Athena's, because not only do the orbs not sell for bonus money at Athena's, but you can't get Hunter's Call or Athena loot out of the shipwrecks here, so you are going to be earning more gold overall as either Reapers, Order of Souls, Gold Hoarders, or Merchant. But before we go to that shipwreck, let's go ahead and go down. And while we're on the island, I'll let you know about the other part, and that is to make sure you are running the island of these encampments before you're actually doing them. And what we're looking for when we're running the island is specifically bottle quests, because bottle quests can fetch you some of the most rewarding treasure in the game, and lots of it. I think I've had bottle quests for Gold Hoarders that have netted me like 70,000 or more gold. Unfortunately, we didn't get any this time, so before we go down, we are just going to do a boat check. And I don't see anybody, so let's go ahead and go down. And I'm not going to keep in me doing the encampment. If you are looking for a guide on doing these the fastest, I actually have one on my channel. So I'll see you guys once we have the orb. Hey, sorry to butt in. This is me from the future. Just realizing I forgot to mention that you should be hitting grade 5 before starting this method. And I'll show you why later in this video, but just make sure you hit grade 5 first. Okay, and just like that, we have what we went in for. So we're going to go ahead and get back to the boat here. And anytime you're close to high ground and playing as a solo, it really doesn't hurt to give a quick lookout. And there we go. While we're at it, we might as well quickly run the boat looking for tuckers. Just check the usual spots that they can be. And it doesn't appear anyone's here, so we're going to make our way over to that shipwreck there. And the shipwrecks are really what make this method so incredibly good, because they're sort of the wild card. Because yes, there are other methods than what I'm showing you to make more gold. For instance, stacking 24 to the dams would fetch you far more gold. However, that's not something just anybody can do. What I'm showing you is, whether you're solo or you have people to play with, the more people you play with, obviously the faster this all goes. But what makes shipwrecks so good is they can not only have King's Treasure, but they can also have bottle quests in them. If you get really lucky, that is. So we're going to go ahead and see what's in ours. And if you don't know what the most efficient way of searching these are, it actually involves just not going up for air and eating food while you're drowning. But just like that, we have already gotten one of the most valuable skulls in the game. So make sure you're always checking the captain's quarter there and the top of the mast. Treasure can hide in there as well. We're going to check behind the staircase. And we do have a mermaid gem and 2 final pieces of treasure down here. This is probably one of the most valuable items you can find in these shipwrecks. And then, like I mentioned, we are just going to check the mast really quick. And there's nothing in there. So 3 really decent pieces of loot is what we netted from this, and it probably only took about 3 minutes of our time. We'll go ahead and get this all on board, and then let me explain to you why we are doing this down here. So if we look at the map, the next place we have to go to is Barnacle Cay, and on the way there's kind of 2 outposts. We can either go to Plunder or we can go to Ancient. I recommend going to Plunder because we can actually follow an arc like this up through to Barnacle Cay, and on our way by we can check Paradise Spring and Crook's Hollow, and then on the way back from Barnacle Cay we'll go to Ancient Spire and stop at Crow's Nest and Cutlass Cay on our way back to Lookout Point, and this is giving you a lot of extra islands that you can run and check for those bottle quests, which net you a lot of gold. So although it's not the most direct route, you are still going to be earning the most treasure from this, and I like that it is still a little random and left up to chance, so let's go ahead and sail to Plunder Outpost. And again, this is why I had you get grade 5 already, because we're selling after every single time we do one of these, which means when we get to the next one to do it, we have no risk on board of our boat. If we sink, it's not really the end of the world, and if you're looking for the fastest way to hit a grade 5 emissary, I will be putting up a video soon for each respective company, so if that interests you, make sure you turn on channel notifications and please subscribe because it helps a lot. I also forgot to mention, if there's any captains on the island, make sure you're killing those because their skulls drop a fortune. And you also need them for commendations, so you might as well. So again, as you're sailing around here, it could even help if you went to the Crow's Nest. Just keep an eye out for those birds, and make sure you go to them every single time you see birds, because say it with me, birds mean treasure. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and harpoon everything, and we'll calculate the amounts as if we were grade 5. But we have 7,700, followed by about 6,000, 20,000, and 1,500. So it was about 37,500 gold, which if we are grade 5, Reapers would have been 92,500. However, the chest, since we're Order of Souls, it wouldn't have sold for as much. So we'll say between 70,000 to 100,000 depending on your faction, which is insane because it only took us about 15 minutes to finish this, get to the shipwreck, and sail to the outpost. Total was only about 15 minutes. Now we're going to sail our way to Barnacle Cay and see what we can find along the way. And this is probably my favorite way to play the game because we really don't know what treasure or loot we're going to end up getting for the voyage. You're still making a bunch of gold, and I find it really relaxing to maybe just even pop on a show while I'm sailing around doing this, and it's a nice change up from the normal world events or sinking other pirate ships. So as we pull up here, it can be more efficient to sail by if you are only looking for bottle quests, and if you're any other faction other than Reapers or Order of Souls, I would recommend you do that. However, since we are Order of Souls and we can still get those skeleton captain skulls, I am going to pull up my sails just in case there is a captain here. But every other faction should just send off and keep sailing to the next island if you're trying to be the most efficient. And we did actually get a captain right here, so I'm very glad that we did that. There we go, and we got his skull, and as we saw, these sell for a whole bunch of gold. Unfortunately, I seem to be stuck here. I am going to restart my game. I will be right back. Okay, we are back. We'll just go ahead and grab these 2 items, and then continue our way to the encampment. And I wanted to do this on the open seas, just in case there was a chance we got attacked. So you guys can see how rarely that happens, or if we did get attacked, I could show you what to do in that situation. But this is absolutely a viable solo method. And in fact, it's what I would recommend doing for solo players if you are looking into getting into solo Sea of Thieves. As we get to Crook's Hollow, I'm going to get ready to send out here. But unless you're Order of Souls or Reaper, I recommend you just keep sailing right towards the encampment. And unfortunately, there's just no loot here this time. And before we make our way to the skeleton encampment, there's actually something great, which is a flock of birds over there. And you can tell it's going to be a sunken ship because of how many there are. If we look over this way and you see those birds, that would be just barrels. If there's probably only around 10. But that right there is a sunken ship, so we're going to head on over there before making our way to the encampment. And it does appear we have a galleon coming towards us. So I'm just going to quickly run down here and we'll see if there's anything for us to find. And right away, we do have a really good skull, as well as one of these king's chests. And I do realize now this is one of those Reaper Mark shipwrecks, so I probably want to get out of here as fast as I can, because I have to imagine that this is what that galleon is here for. And there's just this mermaid gem, so I'll see you back on the boat. And now that we're at the skeleton fort here, I won't make the video any much longer. I just wanted to kind of run you guys through it so you could see how possible it is to find shipwrecks, even bottle quests, doing this method. As you can see, we kind of took a zigzag. But from Barnacle Cay, once we get the ore, we would head down to Ancient Spire, as I mentioned before. And you can either take the faster route to Crow's Nest, Cutlass, to Lookout, or you can take the slower route that has more islands and go to Devil's, Mutineer, Thieves Haven, and Booty Isle. The great thing about this method is you can kind of decide how much time you want to take doing it, and you're selling pretty much in between every stop. If you enjoyed this video or it helped you anyway, let me know with a like, comment, subscribe, or even all three down below. I really want to thank you guys for the support on the channel lately. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace!